Chapter: Bring back your homeland, people.
At first I could not make sense of my dialogue with Anastasia about our homeland. Her opinions seemed abnormal at first, but then, even now, I can't help remembering them. I remember how she answered my questions about what needs to be done to abolish interplanetary and earthly wars and crime, and to make sure children are born happy and healthy.
All people need to be advised, Vladimir. Bring back your homeland, people.
Bring back your homeland? Might you have made a mistake saying that, Anastasia? Everyone has a homeland. They just don't all live there. Not bring your homeland, but go to your homeland. Is that what you meant to say?
Vladimir, I didn't make a mistake. Most people living on the planet now have no homeland at all.
What do you mean they don't? Russians have Russia, Englishmen have England. Everyone was born in some country, and that country is called his homeland.
Do you think that your homeland needs to be measured with a border someone decided on?
How else? That's how we do things. All states have borders.
But if there were no borders, how could you define your homeland?
The place where I was born, the city or village, but maybe the whole earth was a homeland to all then.
The whole earth could be a homeland for everyone living on it, and the whole universe could caress man. But for that to happen, all the planes of existence would have to merge at a single point. Call that point your homeland, and in it create your dimension of love. All the universe's best would be in contact with it, with your dimension of homeland. You would fill yourself through the universal point and possess unsurpassed power. Other worlds would know about that. Everything would serve you as God our Creator wanted it.
You should speak simply, Anastasia. I didn't understand anything about the planes of being and how to merge them, or about the point I can call my homeland.
Then we have to start the conversation from birth.
Well, from birth then. Only don't just talk. Make sense for the present day. For instance, how do you imagine the idea of conceiving a family, the birth and rearing of children in present-day conditions, so that all children are born happy? Can you construct a diagram like that or draw a picture?
Yes.
Then speak, but not about life in the forest or some incomprehensible science of imageness. No one knows about that, only you. I couldn't finish my sentence. Not one, but many questions seemed to be racing through my head in a noisy stream. And the main ones were these. Why wonder what a taiga hermit might tell me about our life? How does she know not only the outward details of our life, but also the inner experiences of so many? What possibilities does this incomprehensible science of imageness have? I couldn't sit still. I stood up and started pacing back and forth. To calm myself and to understand this unlikelihood, I began to reason. Here is a calm young woman sitting under a cedar. First, she runs her hand slowly over the grass. Then she looks carefully at some bug crawling across her hand. Then she lapses briefly into thought. She sits in the taiga, far from the stormy life of cities and countries, from the wars and reversals in the fortunes of all kinds of civilizations. But what if she knows the science of imageness perfectly? What if, with its help, she can influence people, exert a more powerful influence on society than governments, parliaments, and the many religions? Incredible, fantastic. However, there are concrete facts attesting to this, incredible facts, which nevertheless exist in reality. In a short period of time, she taught me to write books. It took her only 3 days. It is she who kept spouting a continuous stream of information. It's incredible, but it's a fact. Books easily crossed the borders of cities and countries without advertising. Her image is in the books. In some unknown way, this image influences people and calls forth a creative surge in them. Thousands of poetic lines and hundreds of songs by bards are dedicated to her image. Moreover, she knew all about it in advance. Back in the first book, I quoted what she said about this. At the time, there's none of this. At the time, her words seemed like incredible raving fantasy. But it all came to pass exactly as she said. And as I write these lines, more incredible events have taken place. In July 1999, Prof Press Publishers put out a 500-page anthology of readers' letters and poems. The anthology came out in July, which booksellers consider the dead season. Something incredible happens. The first printing of 15,000 sells out in 1 month. Another 15,000 are issued, and these anthologies are also bought up immediately. The event isn't spectacular enough for the sensation offered up by the press. In general, it goes beyond notions of sensation because of the oddity of the conclusions behind it. These conclusions are hard to believe. It's also hard to believe that Anastasia's image is changing society's consciousness. Readers have experienced a need for action. People in Russia and beyond its borders are independently organizing reading clubs and centers named after her. A Novosibirsk pharmaceutical factory is producing the cedar oil she spoke about. In a small village in Novosibirsk province, local residents are restoring equipment and trying to extract the healing oil according to her technology, and they are getting help from the city. This is what she said, that Siberian villages would be reborn, that children would begin to return to their parents. They would divert the stream of pilgrims from foreign holy places to native ones. In the last 2 years alone, the dolmens near Gelendzhik that she talked about have been visited by more than 50,000 of her readers. People are now planting flowers and gardens around the previously forgotten sacred places. In different cities, cedars are being planted as well as other plants, according to her method. The head of the Tomsk province administration decreed the foundation of Siberian wild harvest, and they have sent 4,000 cedar saplings to Moscow. Scientists talk about her. It is her image of a vital, self-sufficient substance that is already sailing over Russia. But only over Russia. Women in Kazakhstan are collecting money to shoot a film about Anastasia. Imagine, the Kazakh women want a film about a Siberian hermit. It is her image that has begun to lead people somewhere. Where? By what power? Who is helping her? She herself may possess some kind of incredible, previously unknown power. But why does she remain in her glade and still bother with bugs? While intellectuals argue over whether she exists at all, she simply acts. The manifestation of her actions can be seen, touched, and tasted. What does the science of imageness mean? At the time, in the taiga, these thoughts frightened me a little. I wanted either to refute them quickly or be firmly convinced of them, but I only had her to ask. I will now. She is incapable of lying. I will now. Anastasia, tell me, do you know the science of imageness perfectly? Do you possess the knowledge of those ancient priests? I awaited her answer in agitation, but her calm voice replied without any.
I know what my forefather taught those priests, and what the priest would not let my father say. I've also tried to know and feel more that was new.
Now I understand. I expected this. You have learned the science of imageness better than anyone, and having created your own image, you have appeared before people. For many, you are a goddess, a good forest fairy, a messiah. That is how readers write about you in their letters. You told me that pride and egoism were a great sin, that I had to write everything sincerely, and I appeared before all as defective. But you yourself at the same time rose high above all, and you yourself knew for a fact that it would be this way.
Vladimir, I did not hide anything from you.
Anastasia rose from the grass, stood opposite me, her arms lowered. She looked into my eyes and continued.
My image is still not understandable to everyone, but that image, the other one, when it appears before people, will still be mine. My image will resemble the cleaning woman who merely removes the spiderweb from the main thing.
What spiderweb? Speak more clearly, Anastasia. What else do you want to create?
I want to revive God's image before people, to make His great dream understandable to each person. Each person will be able to feel his aspirations in love. Today man can become happy in this life. The children of today's people will all live in His paradise. I'm not alone. You are not alone. And paradise will be the shared creation.
Wait up. Now I understand. Your words are breaking many teachings. Their authors and followers will not only attack you, but will go after me, too. What do I need these problems for? I'm not going to write everything you say about God.
Vladimir, you're frightened of merely an impending fight with you don't know who.
Yes, I understand everything. All those who head up the different religions will pounce. They'll set their fanatic followers on me.
You're afraid of yourself, not them, Vladimir. You yourself are ashamed to stand before God. You do not believe in your new way of life. You do not believe you can change.
What do I have to do with this? I'm telling you about the higher clergy and how many of them are reacting to your statements.
What are they telling you?
Different things. Some are responding badly, some just the opposite, and one Orthodox priest from Ukraine came with his parishioners to visit me in order to support your statements. But he is a village priest.
And what does it mean that the priest who came to see you was a village one?
It means that there are still others, highly placed. Everyone obeys them. Everything depends on them.
But after all, even those highly placed ones, as you put it, also once served in small churches.
That doesn't matter. I'm still not going to write until at least someone from the leadership of a serious temple. Oh, what am I saying? After all, you yourself can say everything in advance. So tell me, who is going to oppose you, and who is going to help? Will there be anyone at all who will help?
What rank of priests would convince you to be braver, Vladimir?
Can you name me someone no lower than a father superior or bishop? She thought for just a moment, as if she were gazing into time and space all at once. And then I heard an incredible answer.
The Roman Pope John Paul II has already helped by saying words about God in a new way. The images of Christ and Muhammad will unite their energies in space, and other images will become one with them. There will also be an Orthodox patriarch, and what he said will be honored through the ages. But burst of inspiration will be the main thing among all the outwardly simple people. Their earthly status is important to you, but the truth is more important than anything in the world after all.
She fell silent, lowering her eyes, as if something had suddenly offended her, as if a lump had come up her throat, and she swallowed it and sighed.
Forgive me for explaining myself incomprehensibly to your soul. It isn't working yet, but I will try to be more understandable. Still, you must talk to people.
What about?
About what some have been trying to hide from them for millennia. About the fact that each can in one instant enter into the Creator's primordial garden and achieve beautiful joint creations with him.
I felt the agitation mounting in her, and I myself began to get agitated for some reason. Don't get upset, Anastasia. Tell me, and maybe I can understand and write. There was maximal specificity and simplicity in what she went on to tell me. Later, analyzing and recalling her words, I began to understand that there may have been some considerable meaning in her words. Bring back your homeland, people. But then, in the forest, I asked Anastasia for clarification. I understand how all this is going to happen. I understand that if you are capable of producing pictures from the lives of 1,000 years ago so easily, then you must know all the teachings and treaties. You will reveal them to people, right?
I know the teachings that have aroused worship in people.
All of them?
Yes, all of them.
You can translate the Vedas in full?
I can. Only why waste time on that?
But don't you want humanity to learn the most ancient teachings? Tell me about them and I'll write it in my book.
And what then? What do you think will happen to humanity as a result?
What? They will be wiser.
Vladimir, the whole subterfuge of the dark forces is that they are trying to hide the main thing from man through a multitude of teachings that offer some of the truth merely for the mind and diligently lead away from the main thing.
Then why do people call those who offer the teachings wise men?
Vladimir, if you will allow me, I will tell you a parable, one that a millennium ago, in a secluded spot, the wise men whispered to each other. No one has heard it for many centuries.
Tell me, if you think the parable might explain something.
Chapter 2, Brothers, a Parable.
Once upon a time, when doesn't matter, there lived a man and wife. For a long time, they had no children. At an advanced age, the wife gave birth to 2 sons, 2 twins, 2 brothers. The births were difficult, and soon after she had borne the 2 sons, the woman departed for the other world. The father hired a wet nurse and tried to rear his children. He raised them until age of 14. But he himself died when the sons turned 15. The two brothers buried their father in sorrow and sat in their chamber, the two twins. 3 minutes separated their appearance in the world, and so one was considered older and the other younger. After mournful silence, the older brother spoke.
As he was dying, our father expressed his sorrow to us that he had not had time to convey to us the wisdom of life. How will you and I live, my younger brother, without wisdom? Our line will continue unhappy without wisdom. Those who have had time to take wisdom from their fathers might laugh at us.
Do not be sad.
The younger told the older.
You are often in reverie. Perhaps time will see to it that you learn wisdom in your reverie. I will do everything you say. I can live without reverie, and living will be pleasant for me anyway. I rejoice when the day arrives, and when the sun sets. I will simply live and work on the farm, and you will learn wisdom.
Agreed.
The older answered the younger.
Only wisdom cannot be sought by staying in the house. It is not here. No one has left it here. No one will bring it to us here. But I have decided. I am the older brother, and I myself must find everything that is wise in the world for us both, for our line, which will live on down the ages. I must find it, bring it to our home, and give it to us and to our descendants. I will take everything of value our father left us and go all around the world, to all the wise men of different countries, learn all their sciences, and return to our dear home.
Your journey will be long.
The younger brother said compassionately.
We have a horse. Take the horse and wagon. Load as much good as you can, so you will be less poor on the road. I will stay home and await the wiser you.
The brothers parted for a long time. Years passed. The older brother went from wise men to wise men, temple to temple, learned the teachings of the East and West, spent time in the North and in the South. He had a magnificent memory, and his sharp mind grasped quickly and remembered everything easily. The older brother roamed the world for 60 years or so. His hair and beard turned grey. His keen mind kept wandering and learning wisdom, and he, now a grey wanderer, came to be considered the wisest of men. A throng of disciples followed him. He generously propagated his wisdom to their keen minds. Both young and old heeded him with delight. Great fame preceded him, informing settlements on his path of the wise man's great coming. In his halo of glory, surrounded by a crowd of subservient disciples, the grey-haired wise man came closer and closer to the settlement where he was born, and which he had left as a youth of 60 years before. All the people from the settlement came to meet him, and his younger brother, also with grey hair, ran out to greet him, rejoicing, and bowed his head before his brother, the wise man.
Bless me, my brother and wise men. Come into our home, and I will wash your feet after your long journey. Come into our home, my wise brother, and rest.
With a majestic gesture, the wise man ordered all his pupils to remain on the hillock, accept the gifts of those who met them, and hold wise discussions. He followed his younger brother into the house. The majestic and grey-haired wise man sat down at the table in the chamber wearily. The younger brother began washing his feet with warm water.
I have done my duty.
The wise man told him.
I have learned the teachings of the great wise men and set forth my own teaching. I will not stay long in the house, for now teaching others is my lot. But since I promised to bring wisdom to our house, I will spend a day with you keeping this promise. In that time, I will tell you the wisest truths, my younger brother. Here is the first. All people must live in a beautiful garden.
Drying his feet with a clean, beautifully embroidered towel, the younger bustled about, trying to please the older, and he said to him,
Taste. On the table before you are fruits from our garden. I gathered the best of them for you.
The wise man ate all kinds of beautiful fruits thoughtfully and continued.
It is essential that every person living on earth himself cultivate an ancestral tree. When he dies, that tree will remain as a good memory for his descendants. It will clean the air his descendants breathe. We must all breathe good air.
The younger brother rushed and bustled about and said,
Forgive me, my wise brother. I forgot to open the window so that you could breathe fresh air.
He pulled back the curtain, opened the window and continued.
Here, breathe the air of our 2 cedars. I planted them the year you left. I dug 1 hole for a sapling with my own shovel, and for the second hole, I dug with the shovel you played with when we were children.
The wise man gazed thoughtfully at the trees and continued.
Love is a great emotion. Not everyone is given to live his life with love. There's a great wisdom. Each person must strive for love every day.
Oh, how wise you are, my older brother. You have learned great wisdom, and I have lost my head before you. Forgive me, I have not even introduced you to my wife. Old woman, where are you, my helpmeet?
Here I am. I was held up with the pies.
A cheerful old woman appeared in the doorway carrying steaming pies on a platter. She placed the pies on the table, and the cheerful old woman made a funny curtsy before the brothers. She walked up close to the younger, her spouse, and said in a half-whisper, but the older brother heard the whisper.
And now, you men, forgive me. I'm going now. I have to lie down.
What's the matter with you, silly? All of a sudden deciding to rest. We have a dear guest, my own brother, while you...
It's not me. My head is spinning and I feel a little nauseated.
And why on earth would you be having any trouble here?
Maybe you are to blame. We must be having a child again.
The old woman said with a laugh, running away.
Forgive me, my brother.
The younger brother apologized in embarrassment to the older.
She doesn't know the value of wisdom. She was always cheerful, and in her old age, you see, she remains a cheery sort.
The thoughtful wise man paused a little longer. The sound of children's voices interrupted his reverie. The wise man heard them and said,
Each person must strive to know great wisdom, how to raise children who are happy and just.
No, wise brother, I thirst to make my children and grandchildren happy. Here you see them coming in, my noisy grandkids.
2 boys no older than 6 and a little girl of about 4 were standing in the doorway arguing. Trying to get them to settle down, the younger brother told them hurriedly,
Tell me quickly what has happened to you, you noisy children, and don't keep us from our conversation.
Oh, one grandfather's turned into 2.
The smaller boy exclaimed.
Which is ours and which isn't? How can we tell? Here's our dear granddad, isn't it clear?
And the little granddaughter ran up to the younger of the brothers, pressed her cheek to his leg, scruffed his beard, and prattled.
Granddad, dear granddad, I alone rushed to you to show you how I've learned to dance. And my brothers tagged along. One wants to draw with you. See? He brought his board and chalk. The second brought his pipe and horn, and he wants you to play the horn and pipe for him. But I decided to come see you first. Tell them all that. Send them back where they came from, Granddad. No, I came to draw first. Then my brother decided to come with me to play the horn,
said the grandson with the thin piece of board.
There are 2 of you, Granddads. Will you decide which of us came first? Pick me, or else I'll cry bitter tears.
The wise man looked at the grandchildren with a smile and sorrow. Preparing an answer and frowning as he concentrated, the wise man still did not say anything. The younger brother was bustling about, and did not let the pause that arose lengthen. He quickly took the horn from the child's hands and without thinking said,
There is no reason for you to argue at all. Dance, my beauty and hopper, and I will play a dance on the horn. My dear musician will help me play the pipe. And you, artist, draw what the sounds of the music draw, and what the ballerina dances. Draw it. Now then, everyone get busy quickly.
The younger brother played a cheerful and beautiful melody on the pipe, and the grandchildren all repeated after him simultaneously, choosing their favorite thing to depict. The future great musician tried not to lag behind on the melody on the pipe. As a ballerina, the little girl hopped, turning red, joyously depicting her dance. The future artist joyfully drew his picture. The wise man was silent. The wise man learned. When the merriment was over, he stood up and said,
Remember my younger brother, our father's old chisel and hammer? Give them to me. I want to chisel our main lesson in stone. I'm leaving now. I probably will not return. Don't try to stop me, and don't wait.
The older brother left. The grey-haired wise man and his disciples walked up to the stone. The path went round that stone, the path that called the seeker of wisdom to distant lands away from his own home. The day passed, night came, and the grey-haired wise man hammered and chiselled an inscription in the stone. When the exhausted grey-haired old man finished, his disciples read the inscription on the stone. All you seek, wanderer, you carry with you. You will find nothing new, and you will lose with every step.
Anastasia fell silent, having told her parable, and she looked searchingly into my eyes. She probably wondered what I had gotten from the parable. Anastasia, I understood that all the wisdom the older brother had been talking about the younger brother had made concrete in his life. Only I don't understand who taught the younger brother all this wisdom.
No one. All universal wisdom is contained in each human soul in perpetuity, from the moment of the soul's creation. Wise men often lead souls away from the main thing for their own benefit without further ado.
The main thing? But what is the main thing?
End of chapter. Join us for the next segment of Co-Creation, Book 4 of the Ringing Cedar series. Each can build his home today.